My name is Russell Payne. I work for Stage Electrics, one of the UK's largest lighting and technical suppliers for theatre and the live event industry. My background is amateur theatre, then I worked in rep theatre for 6 years, doing West End work, and now I work in broadcast. So as we thought, as it's a Halloween special, we thought we'd look at some of the different effects that are available to the amateur market, looking very much at the budgets that I know we all struggle to meet when we're doing our amateur shows. The last thing they want to think about is the cost of a smoke machine or effect. So we're going to look at some different effects. So we've got some ways of producing cobwebs to make some of your sets look spookier. We've got some different smoke effects, haze, low smoke, smoke machines, and we're going to look at some different ways of utilising light that really make an amateur set come to life in a spooky way. So one of the tricks we've got in our little lighting arsenal is uplight. On a day-to-day basis, we are lit from the sun if we're outside, which is very toppy, or the moon, or if we're inside from wherever the lights are around us, usually in the ceiling or on the walls. One place we're never lit from really is below. So what you'll see in theatre if people are trying to create a spooky or a moody ambience is actually using uplight. Now, what uplight actually gives you is a really exaggeration around the nose, around the eyes, and it's often used, especially in pantomime, for the Bad Fairy or King Rat when they jump on, or in anything where you're just trying to make it look slightly surreal and out of the ordinary. You get some really nice big shadows behind you and some really odd looks on the face. Add a bit of colour in there as well to go with whatever the costume or makeup is. A great little spooky effect. Now, probably one of the most used theatre effects is the humble gobo. It's a small etched piece of metal with a pattern actually cut into it, and when put into a profile lantern, it projects that image onto the set or the people. So it can give you a nice dappled breakup effect to show maybe light through trees or light through a window. It can give you lightning effects, you can make clouds, literally anything you can imagine can get cut onto the metal plate, or you can buy them from stock, pop it in the lantern, and a very easy way to add texture or detail to a set. Something we're quite regularly asked is how do you create that spooky cobweb effect that you see in films and in theatre? Now, the easy answer to that is this product here. This is basically cobwebs in a can. Costs you around £10, and it's a very simple way of giving a wonderful eerie effect on your stage. Let me show you. Now, one of the effects you can't really do without if you're trying to create a spooky atmosphere on stage is smoke. What we've got to demonstrate here is 4 different types of machines which each give a very different effect. We've got a haze machine, we've got a low smoke machine, I've got a tiny smoke machine for spot effects, and probably what most of you are used to is your standard generic smoke machine. So this is the most common type of smoke machine. It's very versatile, it's a good size, it's quick to heat up. It's got a hook clamp so you can actually hang it above the performer's head, which is why it's got a tray on the front to catch any of the fluid. Very simple controls, so you've basically got a control which allows you to alter the amount of smoke you're getting, a basic timer mechanism so it can run automatic, and then a button which actually just produces the smoke. So if you're looking to hire a unit like this, you're probably looking around the £50 price range for a week. That's a theatrical week, so it allows you to do your rehearsals, get it all set up. It will come with a full tank of fluid, so you should have plenty for your show. A great little effect and very versatile in any size stage. Now, for those of you who go to the West End or watch a lot of professional shows, you'll often see that you can actually see the beams of light in the air above the actors, yet there's no smoke. And that's created using an effect called haze. What this does is it puts a very fine vapour into the air that is completely invisible to the human eye until you pass a strong light source through it. Now, that gives you so many more different effects that you can use in the theatre because it's a surprise to the audience as the light suddenly starts to come through it. So it could be that you're making it look like a spooky house by putting in this little vapour so that you suddenly see the shards of light coming through the window. It's very useful if you're trying to do a forest scene but without actually having the visible effects of smoke, because you actually get all of the beams of lights in from the rig, but it doesn't take away from the performance on stage. It's a great product. It's probably a bit more expensive than the smoke machine, so you're probably looking at starting around the £50 and going up to the £100 mark depending on the machine you get. Another really great effect we use is low smoke. We used to generate that in theatre using dry ice, which was literally frozen lumps of carbon dioxide that you'd have to immerse into boiling water to give you this dry ice effect. Quite a dangerous product to handle, and also it didn't store very well because it had to be kept at such low temperatures. Nowadays, we tend to use this sort of machine, which can give us a very low smoke effect, but without having to use dry ice. What this basically is a very large fridge with a smoke machine built into it, and the effect you get out the front is actually very similar to that of a dry ice machine. Low smoke is a great effect. It can be used really well, either with the machine on the floor giving you that lovely ground hugging effect, or if you're lucky enough to have a fly tower, it can give you a waterfall effect from the ceiling. Obviously, one of the things you've got to think about when you're using low smoke is actually controlling it. So it's very much trying it out in your venue to see where the drafts are and look at where your actors are coming on and off stage. Because it sticks so low to the ground, it's very heavily affected by doors being opened, or if you've got an orchestra pit, sometimes it's worth just putting a little strip of timber across the front of your stage just to stop all of the smoke pouring in and smoking out your orchestra. Machine like this, you're probably looking sort of the £250 to £300 a week to hire. But if you compare that to the cost you'd be spending on dry ice for storage, all the hassle of boiling the water, this is probably your best solution for low smoke. Now this is a great little product. It's great for spot little spooky effects, but also with panto season just around the corner, it's also excellent if you're doing Aladdin for hiding inside magic lamps or inside costumes if you've got a dragon or something like that on stage. It's a tiny smoke machine which runs on batteries with a little reservoir of smoke fluid, and then literally at the touch of a button you can actually get a really nice smoke effect out the front of it. And the other surprising thing about this, although it is tiny, is actually its rental cost is also particularly small. I think they're around £35 or £40 a week, which for a lovely little spot effect like that is brilliant.